How many times have you hopped on Bloxburg, worked really hard, built a really nice house, and then tried to finally play the game, only to realize there's nothing to do? Chances are probably quite a few times. I've literally been totally addicted to building, only to realize there's not a lot outside of build mode that pulls me in once I'm done with my house. There's nothing that really makes me want to play. But what if Bloxburg was more? Hi divas and welcome back to another video. So today I want to think about the future of Bloxburg. More specifically, I want to kind of look into what the game would have to do in order to become a true life simulation game, like The Sims. I feel like the gameplay in Bloxburg right now is lacking quite a lot of features, but I don't think that it has to be that way. I think Bloxburg has the chance to evolve into a much bigger and better game, and today we're gonna talk about that. So, me and Bloxburg go way back. I've been playing this game since 2018, which is like a very long time. Call me Granny Ratty, cause I'm old. But yeah, so I feel like I've been here for a while and have kind of seen the game evolve and change over the years. So I feel qualified to make this video. Just gonna warning guys, I might this is mostly gonna be like a positive, optimistic video, but I do want to warn you guys, maybe I accidentally am gonna criticize the game. So if you're all about positivity and stuff like that, just be warned. But anyway, enough of this intro, let's get started. So how do we fix Bloxburg's gameplay problem? How do we turn Bloxburg into this truly fully fledged life sim? So I feel like obviously there would have to be a lot of expansion of the gameplay area, outside of build mode for it to feel more equivalent to a game like The Sims. And I have a few ideas on how they could do this. So I'm gonna list a few specific gameplay features that are quite typical in life simulation games that could be adapted to fit quite well inside of Bloxburg. So first of all, friendships with other players. So how in games like The Sims, and now there are more life simulation games like Paralives, if you have heard of that game. Obviously relationships between Sims or whatever are quite central, and this could easily be adapted and put into Bloxburg so that you could have friendships with other players. So maybe you would have a shared bar to different players, and if you're around that person or maybe doing activities with that person, your friendship bar would go up. And I feel like that would just be really wholesome, because yeah, it would be just such a cute feature to bring people together. If you've ever played Bloxburg on a normal server and not a neighborhood, you've probably noticed that people mostly keep to themselves, either building or working. So just a little feature like this, I think would be great to counter that and just bring the community together. I think it would be quite beautiful. And another thing that's kind of very different from the friendship aspect I just discussed are random chaotic events, because life is chaotic and life is messy sometimes. So if Bloxburg would want to become a real life simulation game, they would have to add some of these chaotic events, such as fires or burglars. I think burglars, if your house could be sort of robbed by this burglar NPC or something, I think that would be so fun. Bloxburg is very predictable right now. There's really nothing that happens in the game that is out of your control, and that makes it kind of boring at times. I feel like a lot of people would agree with me that some chaos would be nice and very entertaining. I feel like if there were things that could happen that were kind of random, it would really keep me playing for longer, and it would encourage me to actually play the game, and it would also add a little bit of humor. I think that Bloxburg has some humor. I feel like if you watch, the channels on the TV, I think it's quite humorous how those NPCs talk, and just there are sprinkles of a lot lot of humor and also in the in the details of the game, and I feel like this would just bring that to center. Next up is probably a feature everyone wants, pets, and I feel like you can't have a life sim without pets. Pets are just like so cute and would add a whole new dimension to the game and drastically like expand it. I feel like, yeah, everyone loves pets, especially on Roblox. Adopt Me, Pet Simulator, all of these games are or have been extremely popular because of pets. So I know, I feel like we really need that. I really hope they could add them this year, but I've been hoping for them for so many years, so I feel like I don't want to get my hopes up, but if Bloxburg would want to expand and become this like real life simulation game, pets would be probably one of the things they would have to add first. Okay, next up, university or college. So we got to high school already, so maybe college could be next. It would be so fun if you could like choose between different majors, and depending on which one you pick, you could unlock like different rewards, and then you get a diploma once you graduate. And I feel like a university could have like a lot of similarities to how they kind of approach the high school update, and it could borrow from some of those systems but with some new features, you know. I feel like a college would be so fun, and imagine if they added like the ability to live in dorms. I feel like that would be really amazing. We gotta be realistic, so I don't know if they would add dorms, but yeah, there's just so many ways that they could go about a university update. There are endless possibilities, and I think that a lot of people would really love an update like that, and I feel like it's not out of the realm of possibility because we did get the high school update last year, so who knows. But I do realize that Bloxburg is currently different from games like The Sims. You're not playing with a family of people. In Bloxburg, you're playing as yourself, and that means that some of the features that are in like games like The Sims aren't gonna translate that well into Bloxburg, and I totally realized that. So I've come up with some ideas that aren't in The Sims or games like that I still think could work very well in Bloxburg if they would want to kind of expand the gameplay side. So first of all, like maybe like a level system I think would be fun. I feel like we have obviously like the work levels, and I'm not talking about that. Instead, this would be just like a general level system that you progress through while playing the game, like while building, while cooking, while gardening. Just there would be an overall level, so by playing the game you would progress through that and unlock different rewards. I feel like it would motivate people to play more and yeah, to just explore the stuff that's already in the game, because there are a lot of stuff like gardening and cooking and just all of the role-playing items, and there is some stuff to do in Bloxburg, like gameplay-wise, that a system like this would really encourage. And when you level up in the system, you would kind of unlock perks like money boosts or higher login rewards or items, you know. It will really reward people that are very loyal to the game and that play the game a lot. Another type of thing that I think would be really perfect for Bloxburg is more quests. Like right now we have the daily quests that you can do and get a little cash reward. I would really love if there were like story quests that you could do and just uncover some lore about Bloxburg. You know, during the Halloween event in Bloxburg, there's usually like 1 or 2 smaller story quest lines that you can go through and earn a reward. I would really love that, but like for all year around, I would die for more quests. I just want more of that. I love completing stuff like that, and it would be great for a game like Bloxburg. Yeah, and it could really tie in well with the whole level system feature I mentioned before, because completing quests could earn you like XP and level you up. So those two features would pair really great together. Another thing that I actually think a very big portion of the Bloxburg community wants are collectibles and a museum. I love collecting stuff. I find it so fun and rewarding. And right now there's only like butterflies, dragonflies, and a few hidden trophies to find. but I want more, and I think a lot of the Bloxburg community does too. It would be so cool, and I've seen people suggest this before, and so if you could collect more stuff, and if there was a museum on the map that you could bring the stuff you find to, and like a museum collection, I think that would be really, really fun and satisfying. It would be quite similar to games like Animal Crossing or Stardew Valley, where you have this completely empty museum and then you put all of the stuff you find in the game there and try to complete that collection. And something that I haven't seen anyone talk about is like a profile system. So everyone in the game would have a profile that they can customize, and in this profile you could write a bio, you could pin your favorite activities to do in Bloxburg, you could pin your best friends, like kind of tying into that friendship feature type suggestion I mentioned. There's so much potential for things to be added in this like profile menu, and I think it would be great for those who roleplay quite a lot if they want to kind of craft their character and have other people kind of get to know their roleplay character, if you know what I mean. Maybe I explained that badly, but so much potential for the game and for roleplays. So on an overarching level, I think the most important thing Bloxburg needs to do if they want to grow into more of a like real life simulation game is to focus more on adding gameplay features and new systems rather than their current way of adding new gameplay, which is like me focused on adding new items that may or may not be interacted with. I feel like most of the gameplay right now is just like animations and objects, and that's totally fine, but I feel like it can just get pretty boring and repetitive a lot of times, and I would much prefer if they added completely new systems like the ones I mentioned in this video. I feel like they're really trying to compete with games like Brookhaven and Berry Avenue and those types of like Roblox role-playing games, but I think they would be much better off just taking inspiration from life simulation games and games outside of Roblox. Of course, I'm not like in charge of what Bloxburg should do. The devs are, of course, but I feel like as a long-term player, I would really love to see Bloxburg like bloom into this bigger game, because that was always what I thought that it would be. I feel like it's in an awkward phase where they've kind of changed a lot of stuff, and a lot of the game is very different from the original game, but at the same time, I feel like gameplay-wise it hasn't really expanded a ton. So this video was kind of my big, beautiful vision for Bloxburg in a way. Let me know if you also would like Bloxburg to be more of a Sims-like game, or if you like it just the way it is, because that's totally fine too. I'm just always super interested in hearing people's opinions, so don't be afraid to leave a comment. I love those. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. It really means a ton. If you want to help out the channel, consider liking and subscribing, but you don't have to. And have an awesome day, Diva. Bye!